This is the HPI RS4 Sport 3. I've had it for quite some time. I got it a while ago. Had a brushed system in it. Now it's got a eBay brushless system in it. It's a matrix line eBay body. I think these are some cheap Energy drift wheels. So nothing special on this car. It is a fun car, but one of the issues I had with it was that the steering rack kept getting bound up. This is a really bad design here, and you basically just have to be really careful on how you're going to drive the car, otherwise you're going to be caught going in circles just because debris gets caught in here so easily. So I had been mentioning it to HPI on their social media, and in one of the Facebook RS4 groups I had mentioned it, and one of the members had pointed me in the direction for the upgrade to fix this issue. So because this car was put away dirty and it's just all dusty and got the street grime on it from drifting around last time I used it, I'm just going to bring it downstairs and put it under the compressor and get all this gunk out of here. And then we'll come back up and open up that upgrade and look at installing it. Alright, it's a little cleaner than it was, but yeah. So Exotech is the company that answers the problem to this car. So we'll go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. Check out the instructions, but this is the part number here, EXO2171. You'll definitely want to get this part for this car if you actually want to enjoy driving it. I actually have another one here that we'll go over in a little bit, but yeah, I just haven't been able to get to these cars specifically for this reason, but now we can get past that. So this is what it looks like opened up, and I've pretty much got it going in the sequential order it has on the instructions here. So these are some photos of what it looks like, and you can see that it completely solves the issue here. So I'm going to go ahead and start messing around, uninstalling the stock one and putting this one together and getting it in there. Get this car ready to go. So here's the old steering rack, and we borrowed some parts from it. The I don't know what you would call those parts, the pivot balls, but anywho, and the bearings. But you can see here on the bottom of these plastic ones where the debris gets caught between the crank and the chassis, but there's a lot of scratches, and it's from the rocks and debris getting caught. Likewise behind. So but yeah, and you can even see those marks on the chassis too, where there's also a groove, and that's right here, and you can see through here there as well. That's where the debris gets jammed, and as you can see, it's like a little tub in here, so things get caught. But now with this, it raises the rack and puts it above the drive shaft, which is something that HPI should have done initially. And it should be aluminum as well. But thanks to Exotech for coming out with this and solving the issue for this car, we can start driving this and having fun. I think that HPI really is behind the ball, dropped the ball here with this platform in particular. They had definitely a good opportunity to piggyback the idea from Team Associated in regards to the Apex 2 and the Rally Kit. They should have done something like that with this, with some taller shocks and, you know, some nice carbon fiber or aluminum bits, and obviously to make it so that you can drive this off-road, to add this as an upgrade. They could have made it a kit just like the Team Associated Apex 2 one, and that probably would have been the best way for them to revive this car. Honestly, before this, I don't see this car being worth owning. But now that we can do this, we'll go ahead and test it out. But so I was working on some crawler stuff and I found this in my scale inventory, so I'm gonna go ahead and install that and dust this body off. As you can see, it's been neglected, but yeah, we'll go ahead and see about getting this ready to run. That looks a little silly with that angle, but it's got a good connection. I don't really care. This car's a beater anyway. It's gonna be a lot of fun to whip around now. But let's go ahead and compare what the two cars look like. With each one. We'll get the Nissan 350Z body here. Probably going to paint that one of the three colors of like gunmetal, orange, or red. I haven't decided yet, but this is what the steering racks look like next to each other. You can see that the stock one here is just a disaster. It's basically a tub waiting for debris to collect in it. And you can see this one here obviously just completely solves that issue. So hats off to Exotech. It was very easy to install and the parts feel very high quality. So they make a bunch of stuff for other brands as well, so definitely check them out. But yeah, so that's the install here. Next chance I get, I'm gonna drive this one, and this one will sit for a while until it gets that steering rack. So there's a clear spot out here in the barn we just cleaned up for the winter, so figured this would be the perfect way to test out this steering rack, because as you can see in the light that the ground is kind of like a parking lot. Even though I did sweep it, there's still some debris around. So this would be a good way to test this test this out. So, as you can see, I've been driving it around for a little bit, and it's covered in dust. Unfortunately, I didn't put enough Loctite here on this pivot ball to go in here, so that's a user error on my behalf, but I'd rather deal with that than having debris get stuck in there. So, it's debris free, and you can see that stuff still does get caught, but it doesn't stop the steering from happening. So in that regard, it's a full success, and this is my fault. I needed to put more Loctite on it. Maybe some debris got stuck in the pivot ball and helped back it out, but it turns freely enough for me not to believe that. I think that I should have just put more Loctite. But anyways, I would consider this kit from Exotech to be a success. I can now look forward to driving this car, and if you have one, you can look forward to driving it too. So, yeah, it was fun to drift around here. I ought to take advantage of this space a little more for this purpose, but I can now that we're done with the work. This is the time to do it. Anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this, but yeah, I would consider it a success. And for anyone looking to solve that problem, this is it. So I'll go ahead and order another one for my other Sport 3, so that way I can drive that one worry-free too. Just make sure and Loctite all those parts. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. Hopefully HPI will catch on to things a little more. Looking forward to their new crawler. We'll see what that has in store for us, but anywho, we'll see you in the next one. So here we have it. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this since I already compressed it, it's fine. I'm gonna move on to the next thing. I'll fix this once I get onto this one too. So there we have it. Sport 3. Excuse me. Problem solved. Exotech. The What's the part number there?